The storm screamed over the endless white plains, covering everything in thick layers of snow. A small group of human soldiers moved slowly, their boots sinking deep into the frozen ground. Their scanners beeped faintly, showing a strange signal. Under the ice, Sergeant Cole raised his hand, and the team stopped, their breaths fogging the freezing air. "There," Cole said, pointing at the scanner. "Life signs." "Very weak," Private Harris frowned. "Out here? No way anything lives in this cold." But then the signal beeped again, a slow, faint pulse, like a dying heartbeat under the snow, without a word. They dropped to their knees and began digging with their gloved hands, snow flying everywhere. Minutes passed, their fingers numb, when suddenly Harris touched something hard. Not ice, not rock. He scraped away more snow and revealed a small piece of metal, smooth and curved. "It's a ship," Harris whispered, his voice shaky. "Alien tech. Definitely not ours." Cole's jaw tightened. "Keep digging." Together they cleared more of the wreck until a broken hatch appeared. Half buried in ice, Cole forced it open, and a thin mist escaped, colder than the storm outside. Inside the dark chamber, something glowed faintly, a soft blue light. "Contact base?" Harris asked. Cole shook his head. "Storm's jamming the comms." "We're on our own." They crawled inside the wreckage, their helmet lamps cutting through the frozen darkness. That's when they saw her. Lying on the metal floor was a small figure, covered in frost, her skin pale and almost translucent. She wasn't human, her features too delicate. Her limbs slightly elongated, her hair frozen like silver threads. Her chest rose and fell so faintly they almost missed it. "My God," Harris breathed. "She's alive." Cole quickly scanned her, the device blinking red. "Core temperature is critical." "She's minutes away from dying," he said, his voice tight. "Can we use the med kit?" Harris asked, fumbling through his pack. "Won't work," Cole snapped. "Her biology is different. The only thing keeping her alive is heat." A heavy silence filled the wreck, broken only by the howling wind outside. Finally, Cole said the words none of them wanted to hear. "We keep her warm." "With our own body heat?" Harris stared at him. "You're kidding, right? Out here? We'll freeze to death ourselves. She dies, we fail this mission. She lives, maybe we find out what the hell happened here." Cole replied firmly, without waiting. He dropped his thermal jacket and wrapped it around her fragile body, lifting her gently in his arms. Her skin was icy cold, like holding a piece of death. Cole sat down against the wreck wall, pulling her close to his chest, feeling the chill bite into his own bones. "Come on, Harris," he said quietly. "Help me." Harris cursed under his breath but moved beside him, pressing against the girl from the other side, creating a wall of warmth around her frozen form. The other two soldiers followed, forming a circle, their own bodies shaking as the cold seeped in. Minutes felt like hours. The storm outside hammering the broken ship. The girl didn't move, didn't make a sound. Only the faint rise and fall of her chest showed she was still clinging to life. Harris whispered, his teeth chattering. "Why is she here? Alone? Where's the rest of her crew?" Cole didn't answer, his eyes scanning the dark wreck. There were no other bodies, no sign of life, just this one fragile creature. Suddenly, the girl twitched, a small sound escaping her lips. Her eyes fluttered open, glowing faintly with a strange light, and for one brief second, she looked straight into Cole's eyes. Her lips moved, the voice barely a whisper. "Cold, please." And then she slipped back into unconsciousness. Cole tightened his arms around her, his own body shaking now. "She's fighting. She wants to live," he said, more to himself than anyone else. The scanner beeped again, and Harris glanced at it, his face going pale. Sergeant, we've got movement outside." Cole turned his head sharply. "What kind of movement?" Harris swallowed, big, and more than one. The sound came then, a deep, echoing crack under the snow, followed by a low, distant roar. Whatever was out there had heard the crash. And now it was coming closer. Cole held the alien girl tighter, his breath cold against her frozen skin. "Hold the line," he whispered to his team. "Whatever happens, we keep her alive." Outside, something massive moved under the snow, the storm hiding its shape. Inside the wreck, 4 humans sat shivering, wrapped around a dying alien girl. In the middle of the frozen wasteland, a fragile spark of life fought against the cold and the darkness. And in that moment, none of them knew they were holding the key to something far bigger than survival. The wreck creaked under the weight of the storm, the sound like bones snapping in the cold. Cole tightened his grip around the alien girl, feeling his own body heat drain away. Her skin was still like ice, but there was a faint warmth now, so small it was almost imagined. "Her pulse is stronger," Harris whispered, his lips trembling. "She's holding on." Cole nodded slowly, his breath white in the frigid air. "Then we hold on too." The team huddled closer, every inch of their bodies pressed to hers. It wasn't just survival anymore. It felt different, like they were protecting something far more important than their mission. Outside, the wind screamed like a living thing, carrying with it the faint sound of movement under the snow. Harris glanced nervously at the scanner. "Those things are still out there." Moving closer, Cole didn't look away from the girl's fragile face. "Then we stay quiet. We make no sound. Our job is her." Hours crawled by, the cold sinking deeper into their bones. Fingers went numb, faces burned with frostbite, but none of them moved away from her. Every few minutes Cole would press his fingers to her neck, waiting for that faint beat of life. It was there. Weak, but there suddenly. A soft sound broke the silence, a breath. A real strong breath from her lungs. Her eyelids fluttered open again, the faint glow in her eyes reflecting off the icy walls. Harris froze, staring at her. "She's awake." Her lips trembled, forming broken words, her voice raw and thin. "Warm, human." Cole leaned closer, his voice gentle. "You're safe now. We're here to help." Her hand moved slightly, weak as a falling leaf, brushing against Cole's chest. She shivered violently and whispered one more word before slipping into unconsciousness again. "Enemy." The word cut through the cold. Like a blade, the soldiers exchanged quick glances, hearts pounding. Enemy here. Was the thing outside what she meant? Or something worse? Harris whispered, "Sergeant, we need to move. If those things outside are what killed her crew." Cole shook his head firmly. "We move her, she dies. We stay, maybe we all die. But we're not leaving her." He shifted slightly, wrapping her closer in his thermal gear, feeling her tiny heartbeat against his chest. It was faint but steady now, like she was borrowing his life to keep her own. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed. From outside, the wreck shuddered, snow falling from the ceiling. The sound of something heavy moving just above them made the soldiers go dead silent. Harris clenched his rifle, his voice barely a whisper. "It's on top of us." Cole didn't move, didn't breathe, his arms tightening around the girl. The creature outside let out a low, rumbling growl. The sound wasn't like any animal. They knew it was deeper, colder, like the storm itself had a voice. For a long moment, the only sound inside was the faint breath of the alien girl and the slow thud of human hearts beating too fast. Then, as suddenly as it came, the weight above them shifted, moving away. The sound faded into the storm, leaving only the howl of the wind. Harris let out a shaking breath. "That thing. It knew we were here." Cole's jaw tightened. "Then it knows we have her. And it's not going to stop." He looked down at the alien girl, her silver hair still crusted with frost. "Whatever you are," he whispered to her softly, "you're not dying here. Not while we're breathing." He looked at his team, their faces pale and exhausted. "We're her only chance. We're not just keeping her alive. We're holding a war in our hands." None of them spoke after that. The storm outside raged. The predators moved in the dark, and inside the frozen wreck, 4 humans gave everything they had to keep one fragile life alive. The storm outside never stopped. It was like the world itself wanted them buried under ice. Inside the wreck, the air was heavy with frost and fear. Cole could feel his heartbeat slow from the cold. Every breath painful, he pressed the alien girl closer, her faint warmth the only thing between life and death for both of them. Her skin had changed slightly, no longer pure ice but holding a soft glow beneath. It was like a spark of life was waking up inside her. Harris shifted beside him, his voice hoarse. "Sergeant, if we don't get picked up soon, we're all dead." Cole didn't answer, his eyes fixed on the girl's face. "We'll make it. She's going to make it. We didn't come this far to let her die." Another hour passed in silence, broken only by the storm. Then, without warning, her eyes opened again, brighter this time. Glowing like 2 tiny suns in the frozen dark, Cole froze, staring. The girl's lips parted, and a sound came out, not a whisper this time, but a trembling voice filled with pain. "Human. Not enemy." The words were broken, but clear enough to make every soldier in the wreck sit up. Cole leaned closer. "You can understand us?" Her gaze drifted over the faces surrounding her, then settled on Cole's eyes. Her fingers twitched weakly, brushing against his chest again. "Human, warm, safe." Harris swallowed hard. "She's talking to us. She knows what we are." Cole smiled faintly despite the cold. "You're safe. We won't hurt you." Then her expression changed, panic flashing in her glowing eyes. Her voice cracked as she said one more word, louder this time. "Run." The wreck groaned violently, the sound of metal tearing echoing through the frozen air. A massive shape slammed into the side of the ship, sending snow and shards of ice raining down. The girl's body jolted in Cole's arms as another impact shook the ground beneath them. Harris grabbed his rifle, fear in his voice. "It's back. Whatever's out there, it knows she's alive." Cole pressed the girl closer to his chest, whispering urgently, "What's coming? What are we dealing with?" Her lips trembled, her voice weak but desperate. "Hunters. They smell life. They follow heat." Harris looked at the others, panic rising. "Sergeant, we're dead. We've been keeping her warm. We're glowing like a beacon out here." Cole's mind raced. Every second they stayed in the wreck, they were trapped prey. But if they moved her into the storm, she would die in the cold. There was no good choice, only survival. He met her glowing eyes. "If we move you, can you survive? Can you make it outside?" Her hand lifted slightly, trembling, and touched his face. "Human. Strong, trust." Another slam shook the wreck, a jagged claw tearing through the wall. Snow poured in, and a deep, guttural roar filled the air. Cole's instincts took over. "Move. Now." Harris and the others grabbed what they could, wrapping the girl tighter. In every thermal they had, Cole carried her against his chest, feeling her faint heartbeat pounding with fear. They kicked open the other side of the wreck, stepping into the white void of the storm. The wind bit into them instantly, but the real danger came behind them. The wreck exploded in a shower of snow and steel as a massive shadow burst through. Even in the blizzard, its glowing eyes were visible. "Cold and hungry," the girl whispered against Cole's chest, her voice breaking. "They follow me." Cole gritted his teeth, running through the deep snow, his team forming a shield around him and the girl. "Then we make them follow us away from you," he growled. "But..." The girl's voice was trembling, a secret hidden in her words. "No, they follow the human heat." Cole's blood went cold in more ways than one. It wasn't just her they were hunting now, it was all of them. Asterisk. The blizzard swallowed every sound, every breath, every heartbeat. Cole could barely see 3 feet ahead, only the glowing eyes of his team through the storm. The alien girl trembled in his arms, wrapped in every scrap of warmth they had left. Behind them, the sound of heavy steps crushed the snow, slow and deliberate. "They're tracking us," Harris hissed through chattering teeth. Cole didn't answer. His focus locked on the faint pulse against his chest. The girl stirred weakly, her voice a broken whisper carried by the wind. Too warm. They follow heat, must hide. Harris glanced at the storm around them. Hide where? It's nothing but ice and death out here. Suddenly, the girl's glowing eyes met Cole's. Desperate and knowing. Not outside, inside. Cole's brows furrowed. Inside what? Her trembling hand reached up and touched his neck. Inside me. Before anyone could speak, the ground shook as another roar ripped through the storm. The shape behind them was closer now, massive and relentless. The girl gripped Cole's jacket with what little strength she had left, her voice cracking. Trust. Let me take you inside. Cole looked at Harris, who shook his head violently. Sergeant, she's delirious. We have to move, not. The ground split beneath them, a fissure opening wide, swallowing snow and metal debris. Cole barely had time to react before they all slid into darkness, the storm vanishing above like a dying light. They hit the bottom hard. The cold replaced by something worse, silence. The air was heavy, not icy like above, but thick, almost alive. Cole groaned. Still clutching the girl, who now glowed faintly, illuminating the strange cavern around them. The walls weren't rock or ice, they pulsed, faintly shifting. Like the inside of a living creature, Harris scrambled to his feet, aiming his rifle. At the walls, where the hell are we? The girl opened her glowing eyes wider, her voice steadier now. Safe. For now, they won't follow here, too cold for them. Too warm for you. Cole stared at the shifting walls. What is this place? The girl's lips trembled into something that almost looked like a smile. Home, not mine, yours. Before anyone could question her, the walls shifted again, and a faint humming filled the air. The warmth inside the cavern was different, not body heat, not fire, something deeper, something alive. Cole felt it in his bones, like the place itself was breathing with them. Harris backed away slowly, his voice low. Sergeant, I don't think we're in a cave. The girl's faint hand reached for Cole's face. Your heat saved me. Now my world saves you. Cole's eyes widened, realization dawning. This isn't a cave. This is some kind of creature. The girl nodded weakly, her voice now soft but certain. Ancient, sleeping under the ice. Not enemy, protector. It felt you, warm, alive. Outside, the predators roared in frustration, their claws scraping against the frozen edge of the fissure. But they didn't come down, didn't dare enter. Cole looked at the glowing girl. You led us here. You knew this place existed. She shook her head gently. Not me, it found you. It chose you, humans. The cavern pulsed once, almost like a heartbeat. Cole felt the warmth spread, subtle but powerful, like the place itself was wrapping around them. For the first time since they found her, the alien girl stopped shivering. She pressed her forehead to Cole's chest, whispering softly, You saved me. Now we save you. Above them, the storm howled and the hunters prowled. But deep beneath the ice, inside the living heart of something ancient, 4 humans and 1 dying alien girl became part of something bigger. Something that had been waiting under the snow for a very long time. The cavern's walls pulsed faintly, slow and calm. Like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant, Cole could feel the warmth seeping into his frozen skin. A strange comfort that was not human fire. Harris ran his hand across the shifting surface, his voice low and tense. This thing, it's alive. We're sitting inside a living thing. The alien girl stirred in Cole's arms, her voice weak but steadier than before. Not a thing, a guardian. It woke because of you. Cole looked at her glowing eyes, confusion flickering across his frostbitten face. Because of us? You mean because of you? She shook her head slowly, silver hair brushing his chest. No. Humans, warm, different. It felt you. Harris let out a shaky laugh, half fear, half disbelief. Great. So we're... What? food for a giant iceworm, or its favorite blanket. The girl's lips curved in the faintest smile. Not food. Hope. Cole studied her face, fragile yet strangely calm now. Why are we hope? Why save us? She hesitated, her hand trembling as it touched his cheek. My people, cold inside. No warmth. We lost it long ago. Her glowing eyes softened as she looked around at all of them. You carry it in blood, in heart. It remembers. You. The cavern pulsed again, a soft wave of heat rolling through the walls. Cole felt it deep. Inside his chest, not just warmth, but something else, something that recognized them, something ancient and waiting, before anyone could respond. A distant echo rumbled through the fissure above. The hunters were still there, their heavy claws scraping against the edge of the ice. The sound sent a chill through every human spine. Harris whispered, "If they can't come down, they'll wait for us to come up." The girl tightened her small fingers around Cole's jacket. "No, they won't wait. They will dig." The walls shifted suddenly, a low hum filling the cavern. The girl looked around, her glowing eyes wide. "It's speaking to me." Cole leaned closer. "What's it saying?" Her voice was almost a whisper. "It knows. It knows what you did. You shared your life to save mine. It remembers when humans did this before." Harris frowned. "Before? What do you mean before? We've never been here." The girl turned her eyes to him, and for the first time, her voice was strong. "Not you. Not now. Long ago, the first fire, the first warmth. Humans gave it. You woke it once. Now again." Cole felt a weight settle on his chest. This wasn't just about saving one life anymore. Something in this frozen world remembered humanity, and it was responding. The girl touched Cole's hand, her voice soft but carrying something ancient. "It chooses you. Because you chose me." The cavern pulsed again, stronger this time, the warmth filling every corner. The sound of the hunters above changed, a deep, terrified howl echoing through the ice. For the first time, the predators sounded afraid. Harris gripped his rifle tighter. "What's happening?" The girl's faint smile returned as she pressed her forehead to Cole's chest. "It knows you now. It protects you now. Humans are warm again." The walls shifted, opening a narrow tunnel glowing with soft light. The girl whispered, "It's giving you a path. It wants you to live." Cole adjusted his grip on her, feeling her small heartbeat stronger than before. He looked at his team, their faces pale but alive with something beyond fear. "We move. We keep her alive. We follow wherever this thing leads." As they stepped into the glowing passage, the cavern hummed softly, not a sound of a beast or a machine, but something older, something that remembered fire and hands reaching out in the cold. And in that moment, Cole realized saving this one fragile life had awakened something buried deep beneath the ice. Not just a creature, but a memory of humanity's warmth in a galaxy of cold. Asterisk. The glowing tunnel pulsed around them, every step echoing like a heartbeat in the frozen dark. Cole carried the alien girl close, her warmth now stronger. Almost human, Harris kept glancing behind, the sound of claws scratching faintly above them, making his skin crawl. "They're digging," he muttered. "Sergeant, they're coming for us." The girl stirred in Cole's arms, her glowing eyes half open. "No, not for you. For me." Cole looked down at her, his breath fogging in the warm air of the tunnel. "You said they follow heat. They're tracking all of us." She shook her head weakly, her voice breaking. "No. They follow what I carry." Her hand moved to her chest, trembling, inside her skin. A faint light pulsed, different from her natural glow, sharper, like a shard of fire trapped in ice. Harris's eyes widened. "Sergeant, what the hell is that?" The girl's voice was soft but heavy with truth. "Memory, seed. Last piece of my world. If it dies, my people die with it." Cole's grip tightened around her. "So that's why they want you. Not just you. What you carry." She nodded, slowly, tears freezing on her cheeks. My enemies know. If humans wake it, it will never belong to them. The tunnel shifted violently, the walls pulsing faster. A deep hum rolled through the cavern like thunder. The girl's eyes widened. Panic flashing. It's waking. Too soon. Suddenly, the wall behind them exploded inward, a massive claw tearing through. The first hunter dropped into the tunnel, its massive body twisting through the glow, eyes like frozen fire. Harris shouted, opening fire. Bullets sparking. Against the creature's armored hide, "Sergeant, we can't hold it here." Cole pressed the girl close, his voice steady even as fear gripped his chest. "Then we make our stand. We end it now." The girl looked up at him, desperation and trust burning in her glowing eyes. "Give me your warmth." "All of it." Cole frowned. "You won't survive that." Her faint smile broke his heart. "If I die, my people die. But if you trust me, I live." "We all live." Another hunter dropped into the tunnel, the sound of claws and roars filling the glowing passage. Cole looked at his team, then back at her. Without hesitation, he pulled her closer, pressing every ounce of his fading warmth into her fragile body. The others followed, wrapping around them, a wall of human life in the heart of the storm. The girl gasped as the heat surged into her, her glow flaring bright. The hunters roared, sensing something they could not stop. The tunnel shook violently as the cavern itself pulsed. Not just a heartbeat, now a roar, a memory awakening. The walls shifted, light flooding every corner, and then everything went still. The hunters froze mid-charge, their glowing eyes dimming. The girl's body lifted slightly in Cole's arms, her voice echoing now with something ancient, human fire. Alive again. The cavern exploded in light, not burning, not cold, but pure life. The hunters screamed as their bodies turned to ash in the glow. Cole and his team clung to the girl as the warmth spread, washing away the storm, the ice, the death. When the light faded, they were standing in an open plain under a clear, alien sky. The cavern, the storm, the wreck all gone, replaced by a calm silence. The girl stood on her own now, the faint shard of fire in her chest glowing bright. She turned to them, her voice soft but filled with power. "You didn't just save me, you saved my world. And something older than both of us." Cole stepped forward, his voice raw. "What happens now?" She smiled faintly, tears still frozen on her cheeks. "Now, your warmth lives here forever. And so do you." The plain stretched out under a sky they had never seen before. No storm, no ice. Only calm air and the soft glow that seemed to come from the ground itself. Cole stood frozen, the weight of what had just happened pressing into his bones. The alien girl stood on her own now, her silver hair moving gently in the strange wind. Harris whispered, his voice breaking the silence. "Sergeant, are we dead?" Cole shook his head slowly, his eyes locked on the girl. "No. We're somewhere alive." The girl turned to them, her glowing eyes filled with something new. Not fear, not weakness, but a quiet strength that felt older than the stars. She placed a hand over her chest, the shard of fire pulsing beneath her. "Skin, it remembers you, the warmth, the gift you gave. It's awake now." Cole stepped forward, his voice raw. "What is it? A weapon? A god? What did we bring back?" Her lips trembled into a soft smile. "Not a weapon, not a god. A promise." The ground beneath them pulsed once, a deep hum rolling through their bodies. Images flashed faintly in the air, shapes of fire and hands reaching through the cold. For a moment, Cole saw something impossible. Humans. But not them, not now, older, ancient, standing in another frozen world. Their hands pressed to glowing walls just like they had done. The girl's voice was soft, almost a whisper carried by the wind. "You've been here before, long ago, before my people, before this ice." Your warmth touched the stars. Harris stared at the visions, his voice shaking. "Sergeant, are you seeing this?" We've been here before." The girl nodded, tears in her glowing eyes. "You are the first fire. The seed remembered. It waited for you to come back. Cole felt something deep in his chest. Something older than fear or duty. This isn't just about saving you. Is it? She stepped closer, placing her small hand over his heart. No. It's about saving. Everything. My world. Your world. The galaxy forgot warmth. But humans carry it still. The glow around them shifted, the air vibrating softly. Cole realized the warmth wasn't just in the ground anymore, it was in them. He looked at his team, their pale faces now lit from within. A faint light pulsing. Under their skin, Harris backed up, his voice panicked. "Sergeant, what's happening to us?" The girl smiled gently, her voice soft but unshakable. "It's not hurting you. It's making you what you always were." The first fire, Cole felt the pulse of heat inside his chest. Not burning, not cold. It was life, raw and endless. He looked at the girl, his voice a whisper. "What happens now?" She lifted her hand, and the glowing horizon shifted, revealing distant stars moving like living things. "Now, you carry it back to your people, to every world that forgot." The team stood in silence, the weight of her words pressing into them. They had come to save one fragile life under the snow. Instead, they had awakened something that would change the galaxy. The girl stepped closer, wrapping her small arms around Cole's neck. "Thank you for giving me life, for giving us all life." As she pulled away, the ground pulsed one final time. The glow surged around them, the plane fading into white light. Cole's last thought before the world vanished was simple and quiet: humans. The first fire, when the light cleared, they were back in the storm, the wreck behind them. The predators gone, only the faint warmth in their chests reminded them it had been real. The alien girl opened her glowing eyes, her voice soft but certain. "Now the galaxy remembers you."